Everyone think that the BeastMaster is now trash and no one using BeastMaster anymore. I'm here to prove you are wrong. Hello everyone, Darkat here with another tutorial from Age of Sorcery Update 3.0 Conan Exile, and in this video I'm gonna talk about top 3 best archer thralls in Exile land and where to find them, why they are the best archers, and gear, weapon, food, everything in this video. So let's get to it. Before we get started, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video, it will help me a lot. Also, like always, join my Discord, I put the link below in the description. So I start with only 3 best archers in Exile land. I didn't find any better archer to explain for you guys. This is the only thrall that I'm gonna recommend for you to use them for your PvP, for your defending base and everything you want. So make sure you be with me till the end of the video. At the end of the video I'm gonna explain where you're gonna find these thralls on the map. So for the start, we're gonna start with the Relic Hunter Treasure Seeker, the new OP thrall that after update 3.0 everyone recommending Relic Hunter Seekers. Why? I'm gonna explain it now. So you can see they have 5000 HP. This is not level Relic Hunter. You can see they have 2800 base damage. They start with 20 agility, 10 vitality, 15 grit, and so they have high agility. It's like they are made for being archer. They are also a good fighter thrall. So this is the max level archer Relic Hunter Treasure Seeker. You can see it have almost 40 something agility, 5000 HP and a lot of damage, and it can be massive on PvP to use it as an archer. So it can be really good as an archer, this Relic Hunter, the Treasure Seeker, and they are easy to catch. And I also put them the fighter ones that to show you. Also the fighter Treasure Seeker have high agility, so it doesn't matter if you catch an archer or fighter, they both can be archer. You just need to give them a bow, so it doesn't matter if you get the archer or the fighter thrall. So the next thrall I'm gonna recommend is the Volcano thralls. Why Volcano thralls? Because as far as I know, the archers in Volcano can be really good archers. Since before update or in the new update, the archers in Volcano can be really good. For example, this Tema, that it's the archer in Volcano, you can see the stats for 40 damage. It have 23 agility plus 15 with the perks, so it's almost 40 agility. You have vitality 3500, decent, and it can hit hard. It's not as good as the Treasure Seeker, but it can be decent. I put these Volcano thralls on top 3, Treasure Seeker top 2, and it's gonna be the BeastMaster, the winner of this video. Why you gonna think now this BeastMaster is useless in this update? They get so nerf and no one gonna use it anymore. But you are wrong. As you can see here, I got the BeastMaster 3200 HP. Yes, the HP get nerfed a lot, but you can see the stats here. My BeastMaster have 65 on agility. It's crazy high. This BeastMaster he's not gonna miss even anything. So it have 65 on agility, it have 25 on straight, really good vitality and grit. It's decent on vitality, not that promising, but if you give him armor and weapons and gear, it's gonna deal massive damage. And if you have the authority perk that I'm gonna explain it later, your BeastMaster gonna even have more. So you can see 4700 HP with almost like 85 on agility. Imagine how hard he gonna hit. So let's don't go too fast, let's start slowly. So we're gonna talk about what is the best gear to give to your archer thrall to be the best gear in Exile land. So for a start, I'm gonna talk about the Godbreaker legging. Why? Because it gives 5% on agility damage. It's the only heavy gear set that gives agility weapon damage. There is some other gear sets that you can give them, but I recommend to use only Godbreaker pants. Then you use the Dragon Bone chest piece. You may ask why I'm using this, because it gives 8% of strain damage. The archers don't need strain damage, that's correct, but I'm using this because it have 580 armor. As you can see, the Godbreaker chest piece don't have that much armor, so it's better to use Dragonborn. It's also cheap to make, only some Dragon Bones. And for the hand, we using Dragonborn hand because it still have the most armor between all the hand pieces. It gives you 48 HP to your Thrall. For the helmet and boots, we also using Dragonborn. The same reason, have the most armor and gives you vitality. So for the kits on your armor, of course, you're gonna use the bulkhead plating because the weight of the gear doesn't matter for you. You're gonna give this gear to your Thrall. And the bulkhead, you learn it here on the map in the War Maker dungeon, so it's pretty easy. We're gonna give it to our BeastMaster, the gear set, that we're gonna see how the gear look like. I also painted to black and white. It looks amazing. So you have almost 2000 armor on your BeastMaster and 3500 without the authority perks. And for the weapon, you may ask what weapon you need to give to your archer Thrall. So you can see that for the bow, I recommend to Dragonbone bow or Kari bow. It's depend which one you can afford to make. The Kari bow is of course better, more damage because it's more expensive, and it's in general better bow. But the Dragonbone bow also can be good. It's cheap to make and it's better than most of the legendary bows that you gonna find them on the legendary boxes pretty hard. And I recommend to give your archer Thralls also a one-handed mace for close combat. So if you give them two weapon, one mace and one bow, they're gonna use the bow for long range, and they're gonna use the mace if there is a Thrall from enemy and they are fighting in close range combat. So don't forget to also give them obsidian mace because it's the best mace so far in Exile land. So for the arrow that you're gonna need to give to your Thralls that deal the most damage on PvP, I can recommend to use hollowbone arrows. That is hard a little bit to farm them in the bat caves, that I already have a video about them. If you want to know how to farm the hollowbone arrows, you can check the video up here. You can also use obsidian arrows that you're gonna make them on Volcano. They are also the best arrows, that they are craftable. And if you don't want to farm that grindy, if you want to use normal arrows to give to your archer Thrall, you can always use star metal arrows. They are also good. And also for the kit on your weapons, of course you're gonna use the master weapon fitting, that is in the same position that you learn the bulkhead in War Maker dungeon. Also for the weapons, you're gonna use when you have this build, when you have an archer Thrall on your following. And I'm gonna explain about the authority build. Of course you're gonna use the dagger or katana because they are agility weapons. You can see down here, if it say on a weapon agility weapon, it means you need to put points on agility to deal more damage. You can see on my axe it say a strength weapon damage, so I cannot deal damage with this axe if I'm putting points on agility. So I recommend to use the daggers of the Dagon because they are giving cripple, and you can see 65 damage, 32 armor penetration, so they can be really strong daggers. Or you can use the Jebel Side daggers that they are doing double bleed on the fight, so it can be good to spam in the fights to double bleed on the enemy. You can find this dagger you can find this dagger on the War Maker dungeon. The boss will drop them, or you use any katana. Here I bring the normal katana, or you can use some like Blade of the Seven Wind from Red Mother, or you can use the Mushi blade from the chest. Any katana can deal massive damage when you're using this build. Now we're gonna talk about the gear set. Of course this Eskelos armor can be again the meta to use to have your archer Thrall on your following. As I explained on my authority videos, this gear set is the best so far. You can also use the Lemurian gear set that also gives you the agility and follower damage and stuff. So for authority build, we're gonna go full authority. The first perk, we're gonna go healing diet that gives your follower passive generation. And for the last perk, we're gonna use the well trained because it gives 20 stats to every single point on your Thrall. You can see I follow my BeastMaster. It gives plus 20 on every single stats that can help your archer Thrall to deal massive damage. So make sure you have the well trained here. The second perk, we're gonna go on the vitality. The first perk, we're gonna do the fast healer, and for the last perk, we're gonna do on the punishment can be good. Also last instance if you are going full PvP, so you can choose whatever you like or depend on your gameplay. And for the last perk I go full agility, and for the first perk I choose the dead shot if I'm going the archer, or percentage if I'm using katana or daggers. And for the last perk you can either choose the rolling thralls, or you can choose the double jump if you are jumping around, you want to do extra stuff. For the buffs you can give to your archer, you can use the salted exquisite meat that gives 15% on agility weapon. You can also use the agility buff. I'm gonna give these both to my BeastMaster. I use them on the BeastMaster, and you can see the BeastMaster have extra 30% damage on agility weapons, so it can boost your BeastMaster damage a lot. For the leveling you can use the gruel or grilled steak as usual. The gruel for leveling on damage, and the grilled steak for leveling on vitality, that I recommend to use the steak. So for the buff for yourself when you're running around with an archer, you can use the encumbrance buff if you are heavy and you cannot carry your gear sets. You can use the vitality buff, or you can use the stamina, depend what are you missing in this build. And for the food, you better use this food for agility weapon if you are going for PvP and fight with katana and bow, or you use savory jerky for plus 60 on your health to be more tanky. And for the end part that I explained for you guys at the start, I'm gonna explain where you can find these thralls and where is the best location to build your Wheel of Pain closest possible to the thralls. So let's jump to it. So you can see on the map the first location for Relic Hunter. You have many spots to find them in unnamed city, the red mark on the map. So I recommend to build your farm base here, or whatever location that it's the entrance of the unnamed city, depend on you. You can make your Wheel of Pain close to unnamed city, and you can find the Relic Hunters over there pretty close to your Wheel of Pain. For Volcano Thralls, of course you need to go to the Volcano, the upper part of the map. In here you have many spots on Volcano. You can find these archers in Volcano, and when you go to the Volcano you can find them in these locations, and you can build your Wheel of Pain pretty close to the location. And for the last Thrall, of course the famous BeastMaster, you can find the BeastMaster here all the way in the north jungle. And when you come here you can see the BeastMaster in this location on the hill, and you can also make your Wheel of Pain pretty close to this spot.